Hey, what's going on, obscure people? It's Bark. I'm back. Had to do one more thing with the PreSonus PD-70. So I have the PD-70. I'm sure you can see that I've got another microphone here. And just for the sake of knowing, you know, this is the copycat here. We got the copycat. Looky there. Look at that. Isn't that adorable? Still talking into the PD-70. But yeah, those are, let's see, they look almost identical. Oh yeah. Same size and everything. Like I'm pretty damn sure. Yeah, good job, PreSonus. You basically bought Shure parts and made a microphone. Anyways, so a lot of folks have responded to the video about the PD-70 and said, is this a replacement for the SM7B? Well, here you go. This is what this video is all about. Let's find out if you deem this to be SM7B like. Now, it's going to be flat mode. I'll turn the presence boost on the SM7B, but there is no bells and switches here. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and turn our processing off, because this was being processed with some compression, big bottom. Now we're flat. This is what the microphone actually sounds like without any kind of processing whatsoever. So cleanse your palate real quick. This is the PD-70 raw. That's what she said. That makes no sense. Okay, so this is the PD-70. Peter Piper picked a patch of pickled pineapple pizza, and he planted it and then smoked it. There you go. There's some words of wisdom for you. Let's switch over to the SM7B. Peter Piper picked a patch of pickled pineapple pizzas, then he planted them and he smoked them. That wasn't exactly an identical reading, but you get the point. You get the point. So the SM7B, much darker, much smoother, and a totally different sound. If you don't believe me, let's go back. A totally different sound. This is very crispy and broadcasty, and with a lot of sizzle up top, and then you switch over to the SM7B that's a lot darker, smoother, richer, not quite as clear, but clarity's not the name of the game for the SM7B anyways. Let's go ahead and, which fucking mic am I talking into? Am I live fucking streaming, bro? That's for, that's for one person in particular that really enjoys when I say that. So anyways, let's go ahead and enable the presence boost on the SM7B and just see if it becomes more PreSonus-like. Let's do that. All right, so now I've got the presence boost engaged on the SM7B, and this is what it sounds like. And then we go over to the PreSonus PD-70, and it still doesn't sound the same. Even with the presence boost engaged on the SM7B, this is still a lot crispier, a lot clearer, and just a lot more top end. That doesn't mean it's better. Just clearer doesn't mean better. I like this microphone, as you all saw. But let me clarify real quick. Me liking a microphone doesn't mean it's an end-all or a great mic. Obviously, you know that because everyone's different. You know, audio, sound, very subjective. Some people like, you know, condenser sound. Some like dynamic. Some like dark and deep. Some like dark and deep. Some like high-end and crispy. Some like polished. Some like vintage. Just there's so many different sounds and tones. Not everybody is the same. So the presence boost is on. Let's see with compression and de-esser on both of these, compression and big bottom on both of these. Just if we get any closer to a similar sound, I don't think we will. I don't. Okay, so the PD-70, we got processing back on. See, I still like this mic because it is very broadcasty in a modern way. And I don't think it sounds bad. It's a little tiny bit too crispy up top, little too much sizzle. But when I green light a mic and I kind of rave about it a little bit, It's the price point, $130. The looks, the build, the heft, and the sound. The sound? No. The more I listen to this, my M99 is much better in my opinion. It is much better. But you got to put price into the equation. That's hard as hell to find under $350. This is $129. And I could use this. I'd be fine using this. I may not love my sound on my podcast when I use it, but I'm going to be okay with it. And for $130, there's nothing wrong with that. So let's get processing on the Shure. And now let's switch over from the PD-70 to the Shure SM7B. I've got a presence boost enabled on the back here, and I've got processing on the Rodecaster Pro. For the sake of knowing the levels on these mics, so I've got the volume fader all the way up, cranked up. That's just without driving the preamps too hard. That seems to be the sweet spot on the Rodecaster Pro. So my level on the SM7B is a 35 with my gain, with my volume fader all the way up. The PD-70, which I'll switch over to real quick, I've got the PD-70 on a 38, but I've got the volume rocked down about a notch and a half. So it's a notch and a half away from maxed out. And obviously this sounds a little louder, but I think it's more to do with just the clarity and the crispness up top. So, I mean, this does require some gain, just like the SM7B. So for all you folks that wondered, this video was simply to give you the comparison between the two. There you go. In no way, shape, or form does this sound like this. It just doesn't. They're two different microphones. I like both of them. If I had to pick one long term, it would be the SM7B. I think it's a little more moldable. You know, you can engage that presence boost if you want, or you can leave it flat and do your processing in post or on your machine. And this, you're getting that crispiness. You got to find a way to take that out. Whereas the SM7B, really, it's a blank canvas and you just add in a little bit of flavor for your sound. I'd much rather add in than try to subtract something. So I would hate to try to take all this top end away and mess with EQ in that sense when, you know, a few very simple things might make the SM7B exactly what you want to hear. So there you go, PD-70. I'm going to go ahead one last time, and I'm going to turn the processing completely off of this thing. That way you guys get the baseline here. All right, processing is off of the PD-70. This is what it sounds like with no processing. I'm going to do the same thing to the Shure SM7B. And this is the 7B without any processing whatsoever. Let's go ahead and take that presence boost out real quick. All right, so this is the 7B with no processing, nothing like that. It's just flat, dark, smooth, and rich. It just sounds like an SM7B. This is what we all have known to come to expect from the SM7B. So thanks for checking this out. Hopefully this answered your questions as to what they sound like side by side. We'll go ahead and take it out on the PD-70. All right, PD-70, we're going to go ahead and end the video with this microphone. Again, if I had to, if someone was giving me these microphones, give me the SM7B, more moldable. If I had to pay for one, it's a different discussion. I'm not real sure because this is basically a third of the price. So that makes it kind of difficult. And I still think this sounds pretty solid. Doesn't sound like this, of course. Obscure mics. These two mics are out. Barks out. Peace the fuck out.